Daily Devotionals for November 27th. Today's scripture reading will be Jonah 1:17 through chapter 2. Now, I'm not going to read all of it, but much of it. Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Now I want to stop there because in Matthew 12:40, Jesus, the Pharisees are, bugging him as they always did, and they were asking for a sign. And Jesus said to them, for as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So Jonah is a sign for our generation, and this is something we needed to be looking at. So I believe that Jonah died. They threw him into the sea. Now it says he was there 3 days and 3 nights. Then he prayed to the Lord. That's chapter 2, verse 1. And he cried out because of his great affliction. And God answered him. It says, out of the belly of Sheol, the place of the dead, he cried, and God heard his voice. And he said, for you cast me into this deep, into the heart of the seas, and the flood surrounded me, and your billows and your waves passed over me, for I have been cast out of your sight. Then the waters surrounded me, even my soul, and the deep closed around me. Weeds were wrapped around my head. I went down to the moorings of the mountains. The earth with its bars closed behind me forever. See, I believe he was he said he cried out from Sheol, the place of the dead. That's where people went at that time. And so it's like the gates of hell closed behind him. But he says, yet you have brought me up, my life up from the pit. When my soul fainted from within me, then the Lord remembered. Okay, now, I believe it would be impossible I want you to stretch your faith a little bit, but it would be impossible for a man to survive inside the belly of a fish, and I'm assuming that's a whale, without food, without water, without oxygen. And just think what the gastric juices of that fish would do to a man's body. So why did God preserve him? If he was dead, if he drowned and then he was swallowed up, okay, he was dead. He wouldn't need oxygen or food, what have you, but it was to preserve his body. Then he cried out, all right? So as a sign to this generation is going to be like he was predicting, Jesus was saying his own death and resurrection, okay? So now he is, of course, brought up now, and we're going to read. He said, he said, I will sacrifice to you the voice of thanksgiving. I will pay what I have vowed. Salvation is of the Lord, okay? And the Lord spoke to the fish, and he vomited Jonah out onto dry land. Okay, so now the point I was trying to make is Jonah, Jesus said Jonah was a sign, okay, of what was to come. Speaking of his own death and resurrection. But I believe Jonah was dead. The fish swallowed him and preserved his body for a purpose, okay? And we'll continue with this tomorrow. I really enjoy Jonah, okay? Till tomorrow, be blessed.